In this video lecture, I am going to walk you through how to go about questions 1 through 7. For all of these questions, we are going to need to use my amortization table. In second period, I need you to come over here to cell G5, and you're going to click on it, and you're going to write the words equity built. For my fourth period class, I already had that ready. And over here in cell H5, you're going to type equal sign. And then what you're going to do is you're going to type this letter B2, and you'll see that this box highlights because your equity is going to be all the money you already put into the house. And so we put our down payment into the house, so B2 plus H4. Now, whatever value, like if I was to change this value to I don't know, just like $4, that would be a weird down payment. You'll see that this automatically changes as well. So this is the first thing you need to do is there's your formula up there, and it's showing you that you're adding the principal plus the down payment. So the first one we're going to look at is question 1. Suppose someone purchases a $350,000 home, gives a $50,000 down payment. Due to their credit score, they have a 4% interest rate and choose a 30-year loan, 12 payments a year. How many months will this loan take to pay off? Well, if we have 30 years, you're actually not going to need the table here, but this number, your answer will be important. So if we have 30 years and we pay 12 months a year, then you'll see that 30 times 12 is 360. Whoops. Months total. So if I was you, I would show your work, and then this is my answer. Cool. So how much equity will this person have built after 2 years? So if you haven't put in all these numbers already, let's go for it. So we've got 350, $50,000 down payment, 1, 2, 3, 4% interest rate, 12 payments, 30-year loan. Since I'm looking for how much equity they built after 2 years, I'm trying to remember equity is your principal. And so what I'm going to do is my principal is found in the E column. So I'm going to add up all the values in between E8. So over here, I have E8 already here. But look, I need to change this. Well, I guess I already have this as an answer. But 2 years is going to be 24 payments. So I'm going to come down here, and here's 24, which is my 31. And so in my principal paid, I'm going to change it from whatever I had. I might have had it as 19. We're going to change it to 31, hit enter. And now you'll see that after 2 years with these conditions, I've paid $34,000 to my mortgage, and only $10,000 of that went to my principal, meaning the bank got $23,000. That's a lot of money to be giving to the bank and not a lot of equity. But that's the way the cookie crumbles, and this is why we're learning about this now. So you're going to come here to your equity, and you'll see that it is $60,781, and that's because $50,000 down payment plus whatever you have paid towards the principal equals your equity. So I'm going to Control C that. Maybe I'll write how I did that. Determine the row for payment number 24, which was row 31. Then change cell H2, was it? No. H4 2 equals sum E8 through E31. If there's anything, like if you don't want to write all this out, what I would do if I was you is at least write this out, is cell H4 sum E8 E31, and then write the answer out. This is going to help you when you are going back and applying these skills. Question 3. How many mortgage payments will it take for the person to pay more on the principal than interest? Well, take a look right here. So this column, your interest column, is saying what percentage of this monthly payment went to interest and what percentage of this monthly payment went to the principal. So remember, of the monthly payment, 1,000 of it went to the interest, that's the bank. That's you losing money, but then principal. But as time goes on, the way it works is that you stop paying so much to interest and you start paying more to your principal. That is where, if you scroll over, these graphs come into play. In the beginning, you pay a lot to interest and not a lot to the principal. But as time goes on, you start paying more to the principal. So in order to answer this question, you could do two different things. You could do a lot of different things, actually. But I think the easiest way to find is, let's look. This one is your interest column. We want to figure out when is the principal column finally more than interest. Because remember, principal is equity. I'm using my arrow keys on the keyboard, which I highly suggest you do the same. Hey, look at this. So this is your interest is still greater than principal interest. And now all of a sudden your principal is greater than your interest. And that occurs at payment 153. If I was to try and figure that out in months, I would do one, or like years, 153 divided by 12, right? Because 12 months in a year. That means that it's going to take you 12 whole years to honestly be paying the bank more than equity. 30-year loans are widely available, but they're a bit of a debt trap. Okay. It looks like we are. Oh, suppose someone takes a $350,000 home, $50,000 down payment, 4% interest rate, 20-year loan. So this is different, 12 payments a year. How many months will it take this loan to pay off? So I'm going to, the only value I'm changing up here is 20. And notice when I hit enter, everything changes. In order to figure out how many months it'll take to pay off, I could either do 20 times 12, which would be, well, 2 times 12 is 24, so that would be 240. Check this out. I can also use my amortization table and figure out when the end balance is 0. So if I was to scroll down, hey, look at that. After 240 months, I would not owe any more money. So we're really comparing the difference between a 30 and a 20-year loan in these problems. How much equity would this person have built after 2 years? Well, we don't actually have to change anything because this formula, as long as you keep it there, it's always going to be there. And you're still got the same down payment. But check this out. After 2 years, you've actually spent more money, paying more money into the principal. Now, yes, your monthly payment was more because if you remember, or if you don't remember, check that out. Look at how easy it is to change it. $1,400 was your monthly payment with a 30-year loan, but with a 20-year loan, it's $1,800. I feel like you could swing an extra 400. It might be difficult the first few years while your salary is kind of like still on the lower end, but ideally in life, the longer we work, the more experience we have, the more our salaries should grow. And if our mortgage payment isn't growing, then that's just good news. Um, so, anyways, if I look right here, how much equity I would have 70,000 at that point. Which again, I could take that 70,000 and I could apply it towards a new house. It's a lot more than 60,000. How many mortgage payments will it take for this person to pay more on the principal than interest? Well, if you scroll over, look at how different that graph is. It's almost like just a little bit of time you're spending more on interest than principal. But if I wanted to actually calculate it out, it looks like the swap is really going to occur super soon. And I would say this is probably the first time I'm paying more on the principal than interest. And that's 33 months. 33 months, which 33 divided by 12, 2.75 years. Again, you do have the trade off of a higher monthly payment, but you're not spending nearly, look at the interest paid. Okay, so for the 30-year, after 2 years, we basically spent the same on interest, but we spent only half as much on the principal. So even though you're spending 400 more per month, I mean, I just feel like it's it, it might not be the right decision, but I want you to be aware of this. So, question 7, describe how the graphs change as the length of the loan changed. Well, as the loan became shorter, you spent a lower percentage of the mortgage. Whoa, I didn't mean to caps lock. Of the mortgage on interest. Now, I have some bonus knowledge. Because you might be like, oh my gosh, the bank only wants to give me a 30-year loan, and I feel like I am not able to escape this. You can actually overpay your mortgage every month. You can actually apply, you can actually overpay your mortgage each month. Kind of like a car loan. If let's say you owe $215 on the car loan every month, you can actually give them like $1,000 and then you're ultimately going to spend less on interest. You can actually overpay your mortgage each month in order to lower the overall interest paid. This is really good to know because most likely you will have a 30-year loan. I have a 30-year loan and I'm like super preach on, financial savviness, but I didn't make enough money for the bank to think that they could approve me for a 20-year or 15-year loan. So every month, let's just say this is my monthly payment. It's not, but let's pretend it is. I actually overpay my mortgage by $400 every month because I know how crucial it is, especially in the beginning, to get that principal lower. So then overall, I spend less money on interest. I don't do it every month. Like December around Christmas time, I'm probably not overpaying my mortgage. But I really try to throw as much money towards my mortgage right now to really try and lower that interest rate, because ultimately I'm trying to get that equity, not that interest. Thanks for listening with sound.